Aquarius, stop. Don't blink, don't scroll, don't tell yourself, I'll come back later, because 99% of people will never hear what you're about to hear. And if you're hearing it now, that's already not an accident. Something was locked from you. Someone delayed it on purpose, and as of December 30th, it's unstoppable. This is not motivation. This is not hype. This is not one of those feel-good messages. This is a warning. Because once this truth activates, your old life doesn't slowly fade. It collapses. And most people aren't ready for that. Here's the part that should scare you a little. The delay you went through. The silence. The confusion. The feeling that life was holding back on purpose. That wasn't bad luck. That wasn't timing. That wasn't failure. That was containment. You were being held back because what you carry changes the room. And not everyone survives being exposed to that level of truth. Let me say this clearly, because this is where most people click away. If you are still watching in the next 60 seconds, you are one of the chosen ones, not special in an ego way, dangerous in a timeline-shifting way, the kind of person whose presence alone forces reality to rearrange. And here's the part nobody warned you about. Once this truth unlocks, people won't be able to ignore you anymore, even if they try. Some will feel drawn to you. Some will feel uncomfortable around you. Some will suddenly remember promises they broke. Some will act strange, cold, or defensive, and you'll wonder why. But here's the twist. You won't need to say a single word. Your energy will speak before you do. That's when you'll realize the delay didn't weaken you, it sharpened you. Now listen carefully, Aquarius, because this is important. One sign in this message will shock you. One sign will scare you. And one sign will explain something that's been bothering you for months. Why people suddenly watch you quietly. Why certain names keep resurfacing. Why opportunities feel close, but not forced. Why your patience is being tested one last time, and why December 30th is not just another date, it's a switch. Once it flips, you don't chase, you don't explain, you don't beg. Things come to you, but understand this phase is not gentle. It rewards silence, it punishes desperation, and it exposes people who never thought they'd be seen. That's why most people aren't allowed to hear this. But you are. And if you're feeling that tightness in your chest right now, that mix of curiosity, fear, and recognition, that's your intuition saying, this is for me. So before we go any further, before the first sign is revealed, I need you to do something important. Not for me, for alignment. Comment right now, I'm ready. Not because it looks good, not because everyone else is doing it, but because the moment you declare readiness, this message stops being entertainment and starts being activation. And trust me, by the time you reach the final sign, you'll understand exactly what was locked, who delayed it, and why nothing can stop it now. Aquarius, stay with me. This is where everything changes. Aquarius, here's what nobody ever explained to you. The delay you went through, it wasn't random, it wasn't karma, and it definitely wasn't because you weren't ready. The delay was intentional, not as punishment, but as containment, because the truth you carry was never meant for the old version of reality. Let that sink in. Your energy, your awareness, your ability to see through people, systems, and lies. It was too disruptive for the timeline you were in. So reality did what it always does when something is too powerful too early. It locked it. That's why everything felt paused. That's why plans stalled at the last second. That's why people vanished without explanation. That's why answers never came when you needed them most. Not because you were wrong, but because if the truth had arrived earlier, it would have destroyed things that weren't ready to fall yet. And this is where most people misunderstand their life. They think delay means rejection. They think silence means failure. They think Nothing happening means nothing is working. But Aquarius, in your case, nothing happening meant everything was being prepared. Because your truth doesn't whisper, it resets. And resets are dangerous to systems built on illusion. But here's the twist. What gets locked for too long doesn't weaken, it pressurizes. Think about that. Pressure doesn't make things smaller. Pressure makes them explosive. Every unanswered question, every betrayal you never confronted, every moment you stayed silent when you wanted to speak. It added pressure, and pressure doesn't disappear. It waits. And December 30th, that's not relief, that's release. Not gentle, not gradual, not polite, sudden, public, undeniable. You won't need to explain what changed. People will feel it. They'll say things like, "You're different, you seem distant, you've changed." But what they really mean is, we underestimated Aquarius. Because here's the part nobody sees coming. The moment the lock opens, your truth doesn't ask permission anymore. It shows up in conversations you didn't plan, in reactions you didn't expect, in opportunities that appear out of nowhere. And some people, they won't be happy about it. This is important. Not everyone benefits from your truth being unlocked. Some people needed you confused. Some people were comfortable when you doubted yourself. Some people only felt powerful when you were silent. So when December 30th hits and the pressure finally releases, you'll notice subtle shifts. People avoiding eye contact, sudden defensiveness, passive comments, unexplained tension. That's not your imagination. That's your truth destabilizing their position. And the wild part? You won't even feel angry anymore. You'll feel calm, grounded, clear, because pressure doesn't just explode outward, it forges inward. You didn't just survive the delay, you were rebuilt by it. Your patience sharpened your intuition, your silence matured your authority, your confusion trained your discernment. That's why, when the truth finally comes out, you won't chase reactions, you won't seek validation, you won't explain yourself, you'll simply stand there while reality rearranges around you. But here's another twist most people miss. Once something that powerful is unlocked, it can't be locked again. No apology can erase it. No excuse can hide it. No delay can reverse it. That's why this phase feels different. This isn't a cycle. This isn't another lesson. This is a point of no return. And deep down, you already feel it. That quiet certainty, that strange calm, that sense of something is about to happen and I don't need to force it. That's not hope. That's alignment. So if you've ever wondered why life tested you longer than others, why clarity came late, why answers felt intentionally withheld, now you know. The truth was locked because when it opens, it changes everything. Comment right now, the lock is open, not for attention, but because acknowledging this moment is how pressure turns into power. And Aquarius, this is only sign number 1. It gets deeper from here. Aquarius, pause for a second. Have you noticed this shift? You walk into a room and something changes. Not loudly, not dramatically, but enough that you feel it. Conversations slow down. People glance at you, then look away. Some suddenly get quiet. Others start talking too much. And you're standing there thinking, what just happened? Here's the part that matters. You didn't change your clothes. You didn't post an announcement. You didn't explain your growth to anyone. Yet, they feel you. That's not coincidence. That's energetic authority. But here's the twist. Your energy didn't grow louder. It grew denser. And dense energy is impossible to ignore. Your silence matured into authority. Your patience turned into presence. You stopped reacting. You stopped chasing. You stopped over-explaining. And the moment you did, your energy went public. Not on social media, not in words, but in frequency. People sense it before logic catches up. That's why some people feel inspired around you. They feel calm, seen, grounded. They don't know why. They just know they feel better when you're near. But others, they feel uncomfortable, defensive, restless, uneasy. And here's the uncomfortable truth most Aquarius never hear. That discomfort has nothing to do with you doing something wrong. It has everything to do with what your presence exposes. Your energy mirrors back what people are avoiding in themselves. Your calm highlights their chaos. Your clarity exposes their confusion. Your restraint triggers their impulsiveness, and that makes people nervous. So they stare, they hesitate, they act weird, not because you're intimidating, but because you're unfiltered. But here's another twist. This phase doesn't allow hiding, not for you, not for them. That's why small interactions feel heavier now. A look lasts too long, a comment feels loaded, silence feels loud, because your energy isn't asking for permission anymore. It just arrives. And people have to adjust. Some will rise to meet it, others will quietly step away. Both reactions are confirmation, because if people can feel you before you speak, it means you've crossed a line most people never do. You've moved from seeking validation to commanding presence, and presence doesn't need explanation. Aquarius, listen carefully. This is why you must be careful in this phase, not fearful, but aware. Because when your energy becomes this strong, your reactions carry weight. Your silence speaks. Your distance teaches. Your boundaries correct behavior without effort. That's why it's important you don't shrink now. Don't joke your power away. Don't soften yourself to make others comfortable. Don't explain what they're already feeling. Because the moment you do, you dilute the frequency. And this frequency took time to build. But here's the most important part. The people who feel threatened by you, they felt comfortable when you doubted yourself. They liked the version of you that asked questions, that waited for permission, that needed reassurance. But this version doesn't ask. This version observes. And observation is powerful. Because when you observe without reacting, people reveal themselves. Their tone changes, their energy shifts, their intentions surface. And suddenly, you see everything clearly. That's why this sign is so undeniable. You don't need proof. You don't need confirmation. You feel it in the room. You feel it in how people respond. You feel it in who stays and who fades. And deep down, you know this isn't temporary. This isn't a mood. This isn't confidence. This is embodiment. You became what you used to search for. And once that happens, people don't just hear you. They feel you. Before a word is spoken, before a move is made, before an explanation is given, that's how you know it's real. Comment right now, they feel me, not to convince anyone else, but to anchor this truth within yourself. Because once your energy speaks for you, you never need to raise your voice again. And Aquarius, this is only sign number 2. What's coming next explains why certain people suddenly can't look you in the eye anymore. Aquarius, brace yourself, because this is the part most people aren't emotionally prepared for. A truth you stopped expecting, a confession you gave up on, a hidden motive you felt but could never prove. It resurfaces, out of nowhere, without warning, at the exact moment you thought you no longer needed it. And that's not coincidence. This truth was never late. It was timed. You see, there are answers that arrive too early, and they destroy you. And then there are answers that arrive late, and they free you. This one belongs to the second category. But here's the twist. When this truth finally comes out, you won't feel emotional. You won't cry. You won't argue. You won't demand explanations. You'll feel something far more powerful. Relief. And that should scare you a little. Because relief means you already moved on energetically before reality caught up. By December 30th, you didn't just wait for the answer, you outgrew it. That's why this reveal doesn't come with drama. It comes with clarity. Suddenly, everything makes sense. Why they acted distant, why communication felt off, why things never fully aligned no matter how hard you tried. Not because you were wrong, but because the truth was being withheld. And what's hidden always leaks eventually. Here's something most people don't realize. Truth doesn't resurface to fix the past. It resurfaces to close a chapter permanently. This reveal isn't about rekindling. It's not about repairing. It's not about second chances. It's about confirmation. Confirmation that your intuition was right. Confirmation that your silence was justified. Confirmation that walking away, emotionally or physically, was necessary. And once you receive that confirmation, you don't look back. But here's another twist. The person revealing the truth. They might not even realize how little power it has over you now. They expect emotion. They expect reaction. They expect questions. And what they get instead is calm. That calm is unsettling because it tells them something terrifying. They no longer control the narrative. You do. And not because you're louder, but because you're done. This is where Aquarius truly scares people, not with anger, not with revenge, but with detachment. You don't need closure anymore. The truth becomes closure, and this is important. Don't mistake relief for numbness. You're not disconnected. You're evolved. You processed the pain before the truth arrived. You healed without the apology. You moved forward without the explanation. You rebuilt yourself without validation. So when the truth finally surfaces, it doesn't reopen wounds, it seals them. But here's the part that changes everything. Once this truth is out, you stop questioning yourself. No more replaying conversations. No more wondering, what if? No more doubting your decisions. That mental loop ends. And when the mind goes quiet, momentum begins. Opportunities feel clearer. Choices feel easier. Your energy feels lighter. Because the truth didn't come to drag you back. It came to clear the path ahead. This is why December 30th is so important. It marks the moment truth shifts from something you wanted to something you've already surpassed. And that's power. Because people can lie to your face, but they can't lie to your frequency. And your frequency already knew. Aquarius, listen carefully. When this reveal happens, don't argue, don't explain, don't reopen conversations. Let the truth speak for itself. Silence is your confirmation, because the moment you stay calm, the universe locks the lesson in, and you move forward unburdened. This is not the end of a story. This is the release of one. Comment right now, truth over lies. Not to shame anyone, not to relive the past, but to declare something powerful, that from this moment on, your future is built on clarity, not confusion. And Aquarius, listen carefully now, because this is where most people ruin everything. What's coming next does not arrive with fireworks. No dramatic announcement, no obvious sign that screams, "This is it." And that's intentional. The miracle you're waiting for doesn't enter loudly. It slips in quietly as a message, an opportunity, a sudden decision you almost ignore. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. Here's why this matters. Most people expect miracles to look magical, overwhelming, emotionally intense. But real miracles? They're subtle. They arrive disguised as normal moments that carry abnormal consequences. But here's the twist. This miracle only works if you don't chase it. Read that again. The moment you reach for it desperately, it pauses. The moment you force clarity, it delays. The moment you try to control the outcome, it withdraws. Because this miracle isn't testing your desire, it's testing your self-respect. This phase responds to stillness, to restraint, to detachment. And Aquarius, that's not easy for you. You're used to thinking ahead, analyzing, trying to understand the why behind everything. But this miracle doesn't respond to logic. It responds to alignment. Let me explain this in a way most people never hear. When something is truly meant for you, it doesn't need pursuit. It needs space. Space to reveal itself. Space to choose you back. Space to unfold naturally. And December 30th marks the moment where the universe watches one thing closely: how you behave when you finally don't need the outcome. This is critical. The miracle tests whether you've learned the lesson of the delay. Have you learned patience, or are you still trying to rush the universe? Have you learned trust, or are you still trying to micromanage fate? Because Aquarius, the miracle you're stepping into is fragile at first, not weak, but responsive. It mirrors your energy. If you're calm, it advances. If you're anxious, it slows. If you're detached, it locks in. But here's another twist. This miracle doesn't come to impress you. It comes to position you in the right place, at the right time, with the right mindset. That's why it often starts small. A message that seems casual, an offer that feels unfinished, a choice that feels oddly neutral. But that neutrality, that's the test. Can you say yes without desperation? Can you wait without doubting? Can you receive without clinging? Because the moment you do, momentum activates. Aquarius, hear this clearly. If you feel the urge to chase, pause. If you feel the need to explain, stop. If you feel pressure to decide instantly, breathe. Because forcing is the fastest way to tell the universe you don't trust it. And this phase doesn't reward urgency. It rewards confidence, quiet confidence, unspoken confidence, the kind that doesn't need reassurance. This is why some people never experience real miracles. They confuse action with alignment. They move too fast. They speak too much. They reach before receiving. And the miracle waits until they either learn stillness or walk past it. You're being given a different option: to observe, to allow, to respond, not react. But here's the most important part. When you stop chasing, you become magnetic. That's when things lean toward you. That's when doors open naturally. That's when people choose you without persuasion. And suddenly, what you waited months for unfolds without effort. Not because you tried harder, but because you let go. That's why this sign feels counterintuitive. Everything in you wants to act. But this miracle asks you to trust. And trust is not passive. It's disciplined. It's choosing calm over control, faith over fear, stillness over force. Comment right now, I trust the process. Not as a mantra, but as a commitment. Because once you pass this test, the miracle doesn't pause again. And Aquarius, this part is serious, not dramatic, not symbolic, serious. Because this is the exact point where people sabotage their own breakthroughs without realizing it. You're closer than you think. So close that one wrong move could slow everything down. And the move that ruins this timeline isn't action, it's talking. Don't explain your growth, don't announce your plans, don't seek validation. This isn't about secrecy, it's about power. But here's the twist. Silence is now your weapon, not because you're hiding, but because you're loading. The less you say, the faster life rearranges around you. Because energy follows intention, not explanation. And every time you explain yourself too early, you leak power. Let me be very clear. Not everyone deserves access to your next chapter. Some people only want information so they can adjust their position around you. Some want reassurance because your growth unsettles them. Some want details because knowledge gives them control. And control is what this phase is taking away. This is why people suddenly ask questions. Why are you so quiet? What are you working on? What's changed with you? Those questions aren't curiosity, they're sensors. They're trying to read your direction before you arrive. Don't give them that advantage, because the moment you reveal plans, expectations form, opinions attach, energy interferes, and this timeline cannot afford interference. But here's another twist. Silence doesn't mean isolation, it means selective access. You can still connect, still smile, still show up without revealing intent. That's mastery. Aquarius, this is where you stop narrating your life. The strongest moves are made quietly. Think about this. Every major transformation happens in silence. Seeds grow underground, strategies form behind closed doors, power consolidates out of sight. Noise is for the beginning, silence is for the execution. That's why life accelerates when you stop talking. Because when you speak less, you observe more. You notice patterns. You see who supports you quietly and who only watches. You learn who respects boundaries and who pushes against them. And that information, it's priceless. But here's the most dangerous part. People will test your silence. They'll joke. They'll provoke. They'll subtly guilt you into explaining. Don't fall for it, because once you break silence for approval, you hand your power away. And this phase doesn't forgive that easily. Aquarius, hear this carefully. Silence doesn't slow progress. It protects it. It keeps your energy clean, your intentions sharp, your direction uncontaminated. That's why things start moving faster once you stop talking about them. Life works better when it's not being watched. This is why ancient wisdom always said, move in silence. Not because the world is against you, but because the world reacts. And reaction changes outcomes. You're not hiding, you're positioning. And position matters. But here's the final warning inside this warning. If you explain yourself now, you'll feel momentary relief, but you'll delay the breakthrough. If you seek validation, you'll feel supported, but you'll weaken the alignment. If you announce plans, you'll feel excited, but you'll split the energy. This timeline demands restraint, and restraint is a form of intelligence. Comment right now. Silence is power, not as a slogan, but as a rule. Because the moment you respect your silence, life responds. And Aquarius, if you're still here, this message didn't just reach you, it found you. That alone tells us something important. You didn't click this by accident. You didn't stay this long out of boredom. You didn't hear these words randomly. You're here because the lock is gone, the test is complete, and from this moment forward, nothing moves the same way it used to. December 30th is not a reset, it's a shift into momentum. Let's say it clearly. From December 30th onward, momentum replaces delay, respect replaces confusion, alignment replaces chaos. And the strangest part, you won't have to try harder. You won't have to convince anyone. You won't have to chase outcomes. You won't have to explain your worth, because this phase doesn't respond to effort. It responds to who you've become. But here's the final twist. Once this activates, you'll never chase again. Not people, not opportunities, not answers. Things start coming to you. And at first, that feels unreal. Messages arrive unexpectedly. Doors open without force. Decisions feel obvious instead of stressful. You'll catch yourself thinking, why does this feel easier now? That's because resistance is gone. The internal battle ended before the external one did. And Aquarius, when the inside aligns, reality has no choice but to follow. This is what most people never reach. They spend their entire lives chasing proof. But you walked through silence. You survived delay. You passed the test without applause. So now, the universe responds differently. Understand this clearly. This phase is unstoppable because it doesn't depend on permission. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't wait for approval. It doesn't slow down for doubt. That's why people from your past will suddenly feel distant, not angry, not dramatic, just irrelevant. Because your frequency changed. You're not above anyone. You're simply out of sync with who you used to be. And this is important. Not everyone can follow you into this phase. Some will try to reconnect. Some will test boundaries. Some will suddenly remember your value. But don't confuse recognition with alignment. This phase doesn't reopen old doors. It builds new paths. Paths that match your calm, your clarity, your standards. Aquarius, listen carefully. This awakening is quiet but permanent. No fireworks, no announcement, just consistency, confidence, control. You'll notice it in how you respond instead of react, in how you wait without anxiety, in how you choose without guilt. And people will notice too. They'll say things like, "You seem different lately. You're hard to read now. You don't stress like you used to." They're right, because you're no longer operating from survival. You're operating from alignment. This is the phase they couldn't stop. They tried with delay, they tried with confusion, they tried with silence, but pressure forged you. And now, what was meant to break you, built you. This is the truth they couldn't bury, not because it was loud, but because it was patient. Truth always wins when it waits long enough. And Aquarius, this is your awakening, not emotional, not chaotic, clear, grounded, unshakable. One last thing before we end. From this point forward, move differently. Less talking, more observing, less explaining, more choosing. Let results speak. Because once a timeline locks in, it doesn't ask for effort, it responds to certainty. Final comment, important. Type, "I claim this," not to convince anyone else, but to mark the moment you stopped waiting and started receiving. Like, subscribe, share. Because this timeline, this phase, this version of you is unstoppable.